Hey everyone! Today we're jumping into a real conversation between two 8th graders. Ayşe and Mert. Picture this. It's Monday morning. They're sitting in a bright, colorful classroom with posters about friendship and dreams on the walls. Ayşe looks completely stressed out. Why? Because she has 3 tests this week and her mom is making her clean her room. Mert is trying to be a good friend and give her advice. Sound familiar? Let's see what they actually say. Okay, listen to this exchange. Ayşe says, Mert, I'm so tired. I have to study for 3 tests and I have to help my mom at home. Plus, I have to finish my science project by Friday. Notice something? She uses have to 3 times. This is the most important structure for talking about obligations and responsibilities. Have to means you don't have a choice, it's necessary. But here's the thing, she says, I have to, not, I must. Why? Because have to sounds way more natural in everyday teen conversation. Save must for formal situations. Mert responds, you have to relax a bit. You can't do everything at once. See how natural this sounds? This is how real teenagers talk. Before we continue the dialogue, let's lock in the vocabulary that actually matters for this unit. These are words teenagers use every day, not just in textbooks. First, stressed out. This is the real way to say you're very worried and tired. Ayşe says, I'm so stressed out. Not, I am very stressed. That sounds like a robot. Second, to cope with, meaning to deal with something difficult. I can't cope with all this homework. Third, tight schedule, when your calendar is completely full. My schedule is so tight. And here's a bonus word that's super useful. To juggle, like you're juggling balls. You're trying to balance many things at once. I'm juggling school, sports, and friends. These 4 phrases? You'll hear them from every English-speaking teenager on earth. Use them and you'll sound authentic. Now here's where Mert becomes the good friend. He doesn't just say, study harder. That's boring advice nobody takes anyway. Instead, he uses specific structures for giving advice. Listen, you should prioritize your tests. Maybe you could ask your mom if you can clean your room after Friday? See the difference? You should plus a specific action. And here's the genius move. He uses, maybe you could, to be polite and suggest alternatives. That's how you give advice without being bossy. Ayşe then says, you're right, I could make a study plan. She's accepting the advice and repeating it back, which shows she understood. This is real conversation. The structures are, you should, you could, maybe you could, why don't you? All of these work, but notice how they're gentle and respectful, not commanding. That's how you give advice to friends. Let's watch the full dialogue one more time. And this time, notice everything working together. Ayşe, Mert, I have to tell you something. I'm completely stressed out. Mert, what's wrong? Ayşe, well, I have to pass 3 tests. I have to help my mom. And I have to finish my project. My schedule is so tight that I can't cope with everything. Mert, that is a lot. You know what? You should make a priority list. Maybe you could study for the most important test first. Then tackle the others? Ayşe, that's actually a good idea. And maybe I could talk to my mom about the cleaning? Mert, exactly. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to do your best. See what happened? We used have to 5 times in a natural way. We used real teen vocabulary. And we gave advice using should and could. This is Unit 2 in action. Here's your mission for this week. Find one real-life situation where you need to give advice to a friend, maybe about homework stress, friendship problems, or family stuff. Practice using at least 3 of these phrases. You should, you could, maybe you could, why don't you? And when you talk about obligations, use have to instead of must. Sound like a real teenager. not a textbook. Also, notice this. The best advice givers listen first, then suggest options. Mert didn't immediately give advice. He asked, "What's wrong?" First, that's the secret. One final thing. Did you notice Ayşe said, "I can't cope with everything"? That's the negative form. Practice saying, "I can cope with this," and "I can't cope with that." You've got this. Go practice. And remember, speaking English is just like juggling. The more you practice, the better you get.